Hey, Temple, what you laughing at?
I'm just reading some of the Steelers fan comments on Facebook. These are pretty good.
Oh my gosh.
Good afternoon, football fans, and welcome to this episode of the Trajan Temple Sportcast. I am your host, professional wrestler and Kansas City Chiefs fanatic Christian Temple, joined once again, as always, by my good friend, the terrible towel throwing instead of twirling Trajan. Is that the symbolism of you throwing in the towel for your season?
No, that's all the yellow flags that were on the field Sunday. That's what it is. It could be throwing in the
Uh,
towel. It could be throwing in the towel too.
well, it's still possible. It's still possible for the Steelers to keep the streak alive of Tomlin not having a losing season. It's just looking a little shaky right now. But you know what? Hey, there's rough patches in every relationship, especially the Steelers and their fan base. So, but
Oh yeah. It's
ha,
uh it's looking a little bleak. Right now we're projected the highest draft pick that we've had in 53 years.
53 years. Wow. And you
Yeah.
may be there to see it live.
We might. That might be kind of cool,
There you
actually.
go. See both of our teams have first round draft picks. That would be
Yeah.
awesome, actually. But
That-
for those not in the know, and much to Trajan's chagrin, we're just gonna hop right into it. Welcome to this week's edition of I Don't Want to Talk About It. And I can only imagine that Trajan has gotten tired these last few weeks about talking about it, but he will continue to do so. And
Yes.
as you can see here, the final score, the in-state rivals of the Philadelphia Eagles take down the Steelers 35-13.
Yes. So I'm going to start out with what did you expect as Steelers fans out there? I kind of hinted at this at last week's episode that there was no chance. And so I get back from St. Louis. I fly in. I miss the first part. Get off the plane. 7-7. I'm like, all right. That's not bad. Things went south from there. I will say Chase Claypool had a better QBR rating than Kenny Pickett. But I'm not too upset. I mean, what did we really think was going to happen? They were 6-0 coming into this. They have the second best defense in the league. They're allowing only 118 points allowed only 118 points this whole season. I mean, that's insane. Their defense is great. Our offense is not that great. We can't score points. Offensively wise for them, they score points. They got all these weapons. We're banged up on our secondary. We don't have our star pass rusher. I mean, there's only so much that Cam Hayward can do on the front line there, and only so many times Minka can make amazing plays to keep us in the game. So, I mean, I'm okay with it. I mean, not really, but I mean. I just knew it was going to happen.
you you
So that's
weren't you
where
weren't holding out too much for hope for a win this week, and
yeah, I mean,
it's like
I
you
always hope
yeah.
to win, but
It's like you said. I mean, the Eagles, they're just firing on all cylinders right now. I mean, their unbeaten streak right now, it isn't a joke. It isn't a
no.
fluke. They've backed up everything they've done. And this actually was a game that was on local television, so I was able to watch every moment from start to finish. And I'm actually, don't take this the wrong way, but I'm glad I did because I got to see my fantasy quarterback and my top fantasy wide receiver go to work today and just absolutely help me destroy my opponent in fantasy this week. It was a beautiful thing to see. And much like the Eagles, I am also sitting with an undefeated record in fantasy, clinching my first ever playoff berth. So, excuse me 1 second here. Let's
Oh
go!
my gosh. You know what? If anyone in our fantasy league deserves it the most, I would say it's almost you. You,
Ah.
ever since you've came into the league, you've kind of been the Cleveland Browns. I'm not gonna lie. And this is your year. So live it up.
There we go. Let's hope it's not like a certain undefeated season where it just absolutely bursts into flames and then I'm eliminated first thing in the playoffs. Let's cross our fingers on
Well,
that
you will have
instance.
a bye more than likely.
I will
So
have a bye more than likely, and also I am. You might have thought I was referring to the Steelers, but I was actually referring to the Chiefs in 2003, which also had a bye and then disappointingly went out with a whimper. So,
yeah.
but oh my goodness. Here's the interesting thing. Yeah, you mentioned Chase Claypool, like a perfect QBR rating, all things considered, and it's weird seeing his name because he's gone.
He's gone.
He's gone. Just like that. Just poof, he's gone. He is now a Chicago Bear. So
Okay.
before we get too far into this, I definitely wanted to get your thoughts about Claypool.
You know, it made sense. I mean, he is a great weapon. I just don't think we have the offense to support how much talent we have on the wide receiver. Um, we got to get our offensive line right first. Getting a second round pick definitely helps with that. Chase Claypool was a second rounder. We get a second rounder back. Um, and plus, I mean, we got one more year of him, and then probably going to want a bigger contract, and we'll probably not be able to keep him. So we got value for him. He goes to an emerging offense. I'm going to say I'm not going to say they're a good offense yet, but they're an emerging offense, and really they needed a playmaker, and Chase Claypool could be that for him. So I'm not upset with it. I liked the guy even through all of the head scratching things that he did, but losing he's never heard of her, and hopefully he does good for the Bears.
He might get familiar with it with Chicago. No, in all seriousness, no. Best wishes to Chase Claypool, obviously. But yeah, you brought up a good point because he was a second round receiver. You got a second round pick back too, and obviously your talent for the future comes down to four names: Kenny Pickett, Najee Harris, uh, Pat Fryermuth, and George Pickens, obviously.
Yeah,
So Claypool, yeah, he was a weapon. But it's you got to look towards the future, and obviously, like you said, maybe if he showed a lot more promise in the last couple of years, maybe he would have been worth a big contract. But I see him in a
yeah,
position kind of like what we had with Byron Pringle. I mean,
yeah.
his best year was last year, and he had been on the team for like 4 years, 3 or 4 years at that point. Probably not the name value, the name receiver we need, so obviously we let him go. Ironically, also to the Chicago Bears. Um,
Yeah.
apparently, that's where decent receivers all go. Not great receivers, just all the
Yeah.
decent ones go to Chicago.
Great talent.
Imagine that. Um, well, yeah, and like you said, it's if you really thought going in, unless you had T.J. Watt, maybe a chance.
Maybe.
A
Maybe.
game breaking chances on defense, maybe so. But man, just the coercion of Jalen Hurts and AJ Brown was just stifling. It
That
was
RPO they run is
crazy.
for real.
Yes.
It's great. They have a great offense. They have a great offensive line. Kelsey, you're Kelsey's brother. Um,
Batman.
yeah, that man.
Batman.
He's a great center. They have a good group. Defensively, that front seven of the Eagles is stout. I mean, their pass rush is great. Hargrave used to play for the Steelers.
Mhm.
We lost him because we couldn't afford him, but
Mhm.
yeah, so we were familiar with him, and he made a huge strip sack.
Yeah.
I mean, and their secondary is no joke either.
Darius
Really,
Slay. I mean, yeah.
Philadelphia has a team that can go to the Super Bowl.
Absolutely, they are definitely the top contender in the NFC, and in some instances, it doesn't seem like it's even close right now. I mean, we'll see as the season goes on, but yeah, the Eagles seem like the surefire favorites. So, well, Trajan, I do have to give you credit for one thing. you're taking this loss very very well, and we all know how passionate the Steelers fan base really is. I mean, hey, let's be honest. They're some of the most well traveled fans in the NFL, but sometimes you got some fans out there that like to make their opinions heard. So what I did, since I was kind of bored, my team was on a bye week and all that too, I went online and found some interesting comments here, and I figured
Yeah.
who better to break him down and give his true feelings and opinions to than you, Trajan. So I will ask you. Are you ready to hear what some of the Yinzer Nation has to say about the Steelers after this loss?
I'm ready. I'm ready as I'll ever be.
Alrighty. Well, I they will show up on your screen. The names will not be shown on there. They will be blacked out. But this first one I'm showing here too is very simple. It says Ben carried Tomlin.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, a Hall of Fame quarterback helped Tomlin win. I mean, your point is,
that's
I mean,
that's all it
you
says.
go to, I mean, you go to Mahomes for Andy Reid. You were like a middling team with Alex Smith there. I mean, you go to Tom Brady with Belichick. Uh, I mean, Tomlin is not the reason why we're losing. The reason why we're losing is we have a young team. You can argue that the discipline isn't there, but consistently he is one of the most respected of the coaches out there.
For sure, for sure.
And so it's just BS statement. It's a
And
statement.
well, and truthfully, what does this person expect? Does this person expect Big Ben to just waltz back onto the field and just save this team all of a sudden? He's retired. Come on,
Yeah.
just
Oh yeah.
the past is the past. You love him for what he did for the team, but just don't. Uh,
Yeah.
there's no need for that. All right. Well, this one's a little more wordy. So, but it kind of dwells on the same theme here. Um, the biggest problem is Tomlin. He created this circus and knows nothing about football. He ruined a lot of talent and he must go. No more scapegoats and no more pointing fingers at this. Or that is all on him. Or that is all on him. No other owner would put up with this BS. They would have fired him years ago or never hired him, which I have to say something about that last part of the statement there. Uh, Steelers don't fire people.
Yeah.
They don't fire people. And I wonder how true would this statement actually have been if instead of Tomlin, the last name on this was Canada?
You know, I, like many other Steelers fans, are kind of fed up with Canada.
Hmm.
Is it fair? I don't think so. I don't think with a rookie quarterback, this offensive line, you're going to have the most optimal. I mean, you got to execute the plays. You can come up with the most brilliant plays ever
Hmm.
and not execute. So I don't know. I mean, I'm obviously not a professional football scouting guru or know everything there, but blame it all on Tomlin. He must go. He made this circus. I mean, like I said, he's one of the most respected coaches out there. He
How
gets a lot
many,
of players.
how many other coaches have had that many winning seasons? Can you
Yeah.
in a
It's,
row, much less?
See, as a Steelers fan, we could have a Steeler fan base. We could have years where we win Super Bowl every single year. Then one year we're one and done in the playoffs, and the sky would be falling.
Mm.
It's just, I mean, consistently we do good.
Mhm.
And yes, there's been years that we thought we had it. I mean, there was heartbreak on my part there too. But I mean, there's 31 other teams. Look at the drought that Belichick and Tom Brady had between the Super Bowls there. They went almost a decade
10 years.
of
Yeah, almost 10 years.
so I mean, we're reloading on offense. We're going through a transition, saying that we need to kick out our leader because we don't have a Super Bowl caliber team right now is just ludicrous.
Well, I won't keep you all night on this too, but there is one more that I got to bring up, and I really like this one just because of the last line. Um, Eagles head coach, obviously Sirianni, is only in his second year, and Eagles are undefeated and are playing great. If you think leadership don't mean anything, then you need to watch this game again and see how bad we got beat. Time to clean house. The standard sucks.
The standard sucks. You know, there was a time when we were 11 and 0, and I mean, I guess there takes a lot of leadership on that part there too. Uh, but then again, Ben was carrying Tomlin at that point, so maybe I don't know what I'm talking about. You know, there's the Eagles have the team right now. I mean, Jalen Hurts, this isn't his rookie season. He did not play well his rookie season. I mean, he had flashes. I mean, they're loaded on defense. They have AJ Brown, who's one of the top receivers in the league. I mean, they have weapons and they have an offensive line, which is the most important thing to an offense. You can have mediocre talent on the outside and a mediocre running back, and if you have a great offensive line and a good quarterback, you're going to make something happen. And we just don't even have a fraction of that offensive line right now.
Hey,
So, I mean,
you said it right there. Jalen Hurts show flashes, and then the next year they seem unstoppable. Who's to say Kenny Pickett won't be the same way next year?
you
Who's
know,
you never know, and that's the deal. You sometimes these bad seasons, you just got to eat it. You just got to eat these bad
yeah,
seasons in order to learn, in order to grow, and then you hope and pray that next year is just better. Although, hey, we're only halfway through the season. A lot can still happen in the short
yeah.
time. So, but yep, those were some Steeler fan reactions. Let
Yeah.
us know in the comments below if you want to see more stuff like this in the future. These were kind of fun to look at here too. Obviously, good. We try to keep the profanity to a minimum as best we can on those. But yeah, that was this week's edition of I Don't Want to Talk About It, and boy, we spent a good amount of time talking about it. So
We did
I shall
spend
relieve
a
you of that,
lot of
and
time.
we shall talk about something else here, as it's time for locks, upsets, and high rollers. And
Oh.
as you can see by the scoreboard here, but bam!
Ugh.
Hold on, that's not. Wait a minute. Oh, son of a gun! Your number actually changed this week.
My number did change. I had a lock win. I was no longer risking it for the biscuit. And lo and behold, I actually got some points.
Got a point out of it there too. So as you can see, this current score, I am up by a healthy 10-2 moment here. Little minor readjustment over there by Trajan there.
Yeah.
So we shall begin again. We got our locks scheduled here. Who you got locked up this week?
Locked up this week. Keeping it simple, stupid. I'm going Philly over Houston.
Philly over Houston, which is, funny enough, tonight's game. So there we go. Thursday
Yeah.
night football. Philly's coming off a short week, but definitely coming off a very confident victory. And the Houston
Yeah.
Texans, tried to keep it respectable against the Titans, but Derrick Henry just was too much for him. I'll go with my lock here too. I think this one will probably be pretty simple. Going Miami over Chicago. I mean, obviously, yes, Chase Claypool, new addition to Chicago, definitely going to be a good weapon for Justin Fields. But man, Miami is just like I said, they seem like they're holding tight with Buffalo as best they can right now. So, but we shall see how as the season goes on here. Considering that Miami actually has the same record as the New York Jets, isn't that crazy? Um, who you got this week for an upset?
All right. So my upset here, it's a questionable upset. I'm going to go Raiders over Jacksonville.
Well, on paper, that is technically an upset. I mean,
Yep.
you've got a team that's last in their division against a team that's third in their division. So I guess by
Yep.
proxy, that would be considered an upset. So well, here's something that would truly be an upset. I'm going the Detroit Lions over the Green Bay Packers, and boy, has it been a slippery slope for Green Bay these last few weeks. I mean, they have gone against a couple good teams. The Bills game that just wasn't even fair. So
No.
this honestly feels like it should be a statement win for the Packers over Detroit. But you know what? It would just be hilarious. Dan Campbell's due, man. He's due. There's
He
just
is
been
due.
so many games where the Lions, should have won close but no cigar, and it would just be hilarious if he got the job done against Aaron Rodgers and the Packers.
Question: who did they win against this year?
Ooh,
They're one.
that is a good question. Let's just take a peek here. Their one win came against the Commanders.
The Commanders. Okay.
Yep. And let's see
Which
here.
Green Bay lost to the Commanders.
Which they did. That is a good point. That is a good point. Alrighty. Who we got for your high roller this week?
High rollers. Okay, so I got burnt last week on the Seahawks and Giants. Um, Giants didn't hold up to their end of it. I am going to go once again with the Seahawks, but with Arizona.
Oh, okay. There we go.
DeAndre Hopkins,
Mm.
Kyler Murray, Seahawks. I mean, Geno Smith's been looking hot there. Maybe something happens. Maybe.
Geno Smith has caught fire at the right moment here too. So much so that they're actually leading the NFC West, which is
Who would
absolutely
have thought?
bonkers to me.
We had
Which
them in the basement.
Yeah, exactly. Had them in the basement, but all right. Well, speaking of a team that was supposed to be in the basement, my high roller just shot in the dark. I'm going Chargers Falcons because holy smokes, as the Falcons been just out of nowhere this season, and it'll be interesting to see what we're thinking of them in our tier maker here in just a moment. But yes, those are
No.
our locks, upsets, and high rollers. Leave a comment down below who you got locked in, who's the upset, and who's going to light up the scoreboard. But now is time for our Week 8 progress report with our tier maker.
Tier maker. Tier maker.
And as you can see here, we still have it saved from our Week 4 matchup. And last time we started from the bottom and worked our way up. I think this week we're gonna take things a little differently. We're gonna start from the top and make our way down. And the first two will be pretty easy. I don't think there's any changes that need to be made regarding the Super Bowl contenders, which of the Buffalo Bills and the Philadelphia Eagles. I think you would agree with me on that, probably.
I would agree with you on that one there.
Absolutely. All right. Well, moving on to the playoff contenders. I'll start with the Baltimore Ravens, leading their division right now with a 5-3 record. I would probably say they're pretty safe in their spot right now.
Yep, I'd agree with you there.
Very good.
Well, Bengals, I'd say they stay there too, since they are the former Super Bowl representatives there. They look like they're getting hot at the right moment, so I'm going to keep them there.
Yeah, I was kind of on the fence on this one. I was thinking after that loss to the Browns, I was thinking about downgrading them to meh, but
Yeah.
they are still 500, and they just don't have a solid record on the road. It seems like that's their Achilles heel. So yeah, we'll keep them. They are definitely still within the at the very least the wild card hunt. So I think they should stay there, but. We will have our first mover here because I am going to downgrade the Green Bay Packers to the meh category here. It's just been a rough last few weeks for Green Bay. They're not even 500 right now. They share the same record as the Chicago Bears. So we shall revisit this again in Week 12. Maybe they'll change their fortunes around, but I think there's a new king of the North, at least in the NFC.
Yep, I'm thinking the same thing too. Um, so then we leads us to the Chiefs. You're giving me the Chiefs
I'm
there?
giving you the Chiefs, man. What do you think of Kansas City after this after the first 8 weeks?
So after their performance this last weekend, they're trash. I mean, uh,
they should have killed Christian McCaffrey and Jimmy Garoppolo for God's sake.
yeah. No, they're. I mean, obviously playoff contenders there. Almost Super Bowl contenders, but I'm going to say playoff contenders.
I would have to agree. If they would have taken care of business against Buffalo, yep, I think I could make the switch there too. But yep, coming off the bye week, they've got the Tennessee Titans Sunday night, battle of two 5-2 teams, and a win against them at home would definitely be a statement. So I think they're pretty comfy where they're at right now. The rest of the AFC West, besides the Chargers, we'll have to see how that goes. And speaking of the Chargers, I think I'm going to stick with them at playoff contender in the wild card position. I'm not ready to knock them down to meh yet, although there were a couple losses that they had where they should be probably considered meh. But we'll check again in week 12 when that week comes. Tampa Bay, I think we both know where what needs to happen here.
They need to go down. You are not that guy.
You are not that guy. It's kind of funny who is that guy right now, but we'll wait to talk about that when we get there. So obviously the divorce probably getting a little bit into Tom Brady's head, but not just him. The team as a whole right now is kind of fumbling around a little bit. So
Stayed retired.
it's still their division to lose. We shall see how it goes in the later time. I've brought up the Tennessee Titans just a moment ago, and right now they're sitting comfortably at 5-2. I mean, Indy, Jacksonville, and Houston, they're all sub 500, so I think they're right where they belong as the
Yeah.
undisputed AFC South division winners.
The Rams. The Rams. Do we keep them there? Oh, goodness. To me, they're almost a meh team.
I have to agree with that. I
Yeah.
have to agree with that, absolutely.
So,
Actually, I'm going to move the Packers over here so we don't lose our place there. Alrighty. Well, yeah, L.A. Rams. I mean, the Super Bowl hangover is real, and the loss to San Francisco last week definitely did not help their case at all. It seems like San Fran is the standard bearer in the NFC West, or are they? Or
or
are
are they?
they? We shall discuss that here in just a moment. Moving on to the Indianapolis Colts, who made the executive decision to bench Matt Ryan for Sam Ellinger, and they screwed the pooch right at the last second against the Washington Commanders, and I think that alone downgrades them to the blah category. Just
Okay.
don't see
Not to
a
trash.
don't see a whole lot of upside right now, but nope, they're still ahead of Jacksonville and Houston, so I'd say that saves them from trash.
Gotcha. Well, Miami, they're going up.
I think so too.
Moving on up.
I think so too. But now the question will become when we get to another certain New York team, what we think of them. But we'll get to that here in just a moment. But yeah, Miami, sitting at 5-3 right now. I mean, Tua coming back, he seems like he's doing just fine. But you got Jalen Waddle, you got Tyreek Hill, you got that defense. I think Miami's going to make a strong case for even if they don't take the division. I think they'll be a strong wild card contender.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Alrighty. Well, I prefaced it earlier with the new Kings of the North, and right now sitting at a comfortable 6-1 record. I've got the I've got the Minnesota Vikings rather moving on up.
Oh yeah, the Vikings are once again raping and pillaging.
The hopes and dreams of Packers fans.
Yes, I totally agree with that. And then we move on to San Fran. I'm going to say they go up.
They have to. They have to go
With
up.
Christian McCaffrey, I mean, yeah, they lost to you guys there, and it looked pretty bad. With the amount of talent that's coming back off of injury, talent on offense, I say they, over the long haul, will be the one in the playoff contender.
Absolutely. Now, tell me this. If I would have told you at the beginning of this year that the entire NFC East would be 500 or better, What would you say?
I would call you crazy. I would definitely call you crazy. And yeah, no, it's insane. It is definitely insane. The hardest division in football right now, one could argue.
So you know what? I'm gonna make an executive decision here too. Um, I think we're going for a 2-for-1 special. I think both the Giants and the Cowboys are climbing up
To
in the
contend.
division standings. We could potentially have three NFC East teams in the playoffs this year.
Yeah.
Because let's think about it. Let's think about it here. Besides Minnesota, which will be their division winner probably, who else would be besides the Eagles, the Vikings, and probably the South is wide open. Who else would be a wild card position?
I
It's
don't
tough
know.
to call. It's tough to call, but just going off what we've been seeing so far, I it could
It's
happen. We could
yeah.
have three NFC East teams going in.
Yeah, no, I mean, if you're in any other division right now, and it looks like you would be at best a wild card team, you got to stay up with the wins because you have to be pretty damn good to get in.
Absolutely. Alrighty. Well, shall I play taps right now or
You know what? Closing time.
closing time?
It's closing time.
Alrighty.
I'm going to downgrade them one more to bleh.
We're not ready to put him in the trash can just yet.
Trash, possibly next tier maker if they don't make any corrections during this bye week.
Very very well. We shall let that be the case. Alrighty, moving on to the Detroit Lions, and oh man, this is unfortunately familiar territory for them, but I think it's time. I think
They're in
just just
trash.
just just the record there. Their misery loves company, and now they're back down below with the other cat teams.
Yeah, no, I would definitely say that there. Seahawks.
Wow.
This is tough because one could say they could go all the way to playoff contender.
Ah.
I'm not that one.
You are not that one. I was kind of on the fence too, and even though they're leading the division, it just seems like San Fran is they're going all in this year. So we
I
shall
have
we shall see here in a couple weeks. But yeah, I think Seahawks, blah, they're too good for that. Meh, they might be too good for that, but that's where they should be for right now.
definitely.
Alrighty, on
Oh,
to the New Jersey Jets, and I still can't believe that they are sharing the same record as the Miami Dolphins. And here's my deal: if they still had Brees Hall, I may consider them for playoff
yeah.
contender, just with that defense they got to. But I nonetheless will upgrade them to meh because they've shown something this year so far. I mean, yes, we're 8 weeks in. Uh, the wheels could fly off any second. They did get James Robinson from Jacksonville, so hopefully that patches the
Good.
tire in the run game. But yep, when we revisit here in week 12, we'll definitely see where they stand.
Oh yeah, I agree with that there. Falcons. Falcons going up? I think so.
We need a division leader for playoff contender.
We do.
We
I think
do.
they are a playoff contender. They're right now, if Tampa keeps playing like they have been, I have no faith in the Saints because who really is running their offense?
Mm,
Mariota, he's taken teams to the playoffs before.
yep.
Is he the guy to put you into the Super Bowl? No. But he can beat a Kansas City Chiefs team. We've seen that.
Yeah, yeah.
But they also had Alex Smith.
Right.
But yeah, no. I would say yes.
I
They're playing
can.
contender.
This is just. I'm in a bizarro world right now where the team that the USA Today thought was going to be the first overall pick in this year's draft is now fighting for a playoff spot, and right now has the best record in the South with a 500 record, which is just absolutely crazy right now.
They
Ah,
are up than the Steelers.
alrighty. Well, I guess on to the where we're at here. The Cleveland Browns now, who are sitting at 3-5. Great win over Cincinnati. I think maybe upgrade to meh.
If you want to, there, I guess. I could see they're saying blah or meh. They're definitely not trash,
No,
but I'd say meh.
meh. We shall see when how bad they are when Deshaun Watson comes back. That's gonna be a real good story.
Yeah, no, that's going to be interesting. And Jacoby could keep the job.
You could.
I mean, maybe just run with him this year.
Why not?
Um, the Bears, the Bears,
The Bears.
the Bears. Go up. They go up.
Ah.
I say they're more interesting now. They're not bleh. I am interested in Justin Fields, seeing what he does. Chase Claypool, he has somewhat of a weapon there. I'm not going to say the best. He's not a top three receiver. Uh, but uh, but yeah, no, I think with that win over the Patriots, that was pretty good.
That was impressive, nonetheless. And I bet it breaks every Packers fan's heart to see them not only the same tier in the tier maker, but
Yeah.
also the same record in the standings. Who would have thought that
Yeah.
this year? Alrighty, Las Vegas Raiders, and as much as I would love to just dump them here in the trash, I'll keep them at blah. We'll see how these
I
next
was
few
all
weeks
for
go.
trash on there.
They bounced back this past week against the New Orleans Saints, an absolutely stunning victory. No, absolutely, they're going trash.
Yeah.
they
I
got
was going to say.
they got absolutely wiped by the Saints. Absolutely no points whatsoever. So no points for you and no love for you. You're going out back into behind the woodshed. And good riddance to you, sir.
But the Raiders were supposed to be like one of the toughest challengers for the Chiefs this
I
year.
know Devonte Adams and Derek Carr. They were supposed to be unstoppable, right?
I know that defense too. Oh my goodness, scary. Oh, Arizona Cardinals. Call of Duty is out. Your quarterback is eh. I say they're more meh now just because they have DeAndre Hopkins back. Last time we did this, they did not have him. I say they're more meh.
Say more meh. Alrighty. Well, we shall see if DeAndre can help them get over the hump in the especially since they are sitting in last place in the NFC West, so they're walking on thin ice right now. But yep, we shall see now that they've got their main weapon back too, and I'm sure Kyler's very happy to see that. All right, on to the New England Patriots, who are, do my eyes deceive me, last place in the AFC East.
You
They're
know,
they're 4-4. I don't think that's worthy of trash though.
yeah, no. If the Steelers aren't in trash, they can't be in trash either.
Nah.
Uh, but uh, but yeah, it's nice to see them last place. I think every fan can agree with that.
Absolutely.
Do we change any of this bottom row? I mean, do we even have to go over each team?
Well,
Because
I think I do want to make one upgrade. I
one
think
upgrade,
I
which
want to make
one?
one upgrade, and I brought it to light earlier that every team in the NFC East has 500 or better record. I'm thinking the commies are moving on up. At least the
The
Bleh.
Cowboys
They took care of business. It was a great play by Taylor Heineke to Scary Terry at the 1 yard line, setting up the game-winning
you
touchdown against Indy. So yeah, they're 4-4. I'm not ready to think of them as meh just yet, but if they keep finding ways to win, then who knows?
Yep. Could we have an all NFC East playoff?
Who would have saw that coming, right?
Yeah. No,
Alrighty.
I'll give you that one there, but yeah, definitely. I mean, Broncos, yeah, they beat the Jacksonville Jaguars, but Jacksonville gave it to them.
Yeah, exactly. On a
Houston,
silver platter.
who do they even have? And Saints, yeah, they beat the Raiders, but do you trust them with any other game? I mean, that could have easily been just a the Raiders looked over them game.
The Saints, I was kind of on the fence of maybe upgrading them to Blab, but it's one of those deals. It's like, let's see where this goes the next 4 weeks, and then we shall revisit and see if they can graduate to a higher tier. And truthfully, in 4 weeks, we may have our first set of eliminations, which is, you know, we if
Steelers
you
could be eliminated this few weeks from now.
that's a scary thought right now, isn't it? I'm
It
sure.
is. Oh my goodness.
So there you have it for this second edition of the NFL Tier Maker. Um, Halfway through the season, a lot can change. Will there be proven winners, or are there some as Among Us players would say, imposters in our midst? Who is sus in the standings right now? But any closing thoughts this week? The Steelers on a bye this week,
We're on a
or they're
bye.
on a bye this week? All
We
right,
are resting, rehabilitating, trying to find an answer,
commiserating.
commiserating. So this weekend I get to relax, um, not get angry at my TV.
Hey, looky there.
Pretty nice.
A
Pretty nice.
TV save from Trajan's wrath. That's all. That's good for any television within a mile radius of him.
Yes.
As I mentioned earlier, the Kansas City Chiefs will be going head to head with another 5-2 team. That is the Tennessee Titans, who would normally be led by Ryan Tannehill, but I'd more say they're being led by Derrick Henry and Malik Willis as their quarterback here. So it'll be an interesting test for Kansas City to
Yep.
match up against Derrick Henry. We got our defense, our linebacker cores all back to Willie Gay and Nick Bolton, which we will definitely need against a strong runner like Derrick Henry. So we shall see. Will Tennessee strike on the ground as normal, or will they try to attack from the air? We shall see come Sunday
Yeah.
night prime time, baby. So that is it for our show. Thank you, everybody, so much for joining us. Click like if you liked the video. Click subscribe if you really liked it. Tell all of your friends. And we will see you all next week.